So without further ado, I am going to kick it over to Reiner Govlick. And Reiner is the chair of the Apprenti Advisory Board in Massachusetts and was a key champion in bringing Apprenti to Massachusetts. He's been a leader in the tech industry for over 25 years, and we're very excited to have him hosting today's event.
Thank you, Callie. I appreciate it. And thank you for getting us started on this new and super interesting platform. First of all, as you can probably tell from my name, I'm German. And as a result, particularly excited to be here. I grew up in a culture where apprenticeships are actually the most common way in which people access great careers. One example I like to use is the CEO of Deutsche Bank, Germany's biggest bank, is someone who started there as an apprentice. And so to see us using apprenticeships as a way to get people into these very high-paying, high potential careers is super exciting to me, and I'm glad to see this graduation ceremony celebrating that. As we are here today, we're going to obviously do our graduation ceremony, and in so doing, celebrate a couple of folks. First of all, of course, our graduates who have put in a ton of work to get here and have accomplished as a result both their classroom work as well as the work with the companies, which is absolutely great. Secondly, the companies embracing this new model of bringing people on board is something that takes effort, and we appreciate and vision, and we appreciate the many companies that have shown that effort and vision to make that happen. And obviously also just celebrating the overall model of apprenticeships as a much better way to get people into these fantastic careers. So I'm very excited to be here and very excited to have you here celebrate this great event with us. We obviously work together with a ton of great companies as part of this program. Companies like Concentric Consulting, Liberty Mutual, Blue Cross Blue Shield. But one company that's really stood out for us is JP Chase, who has been both a partner from a philanthropic perspective, but more importantly, also a great partner from an employment perspective. Championing that work on behalf of JP Chase is Coral Skovner, who is with us today. She leads the Emerging Talent Team, which is a team that really looks at talent that JP Chase brings on board from alternative pathways, obviously apprenticeships being one today, although hopefully as we look in the future, it won't be an alternative, it'll be mainstream. But she's been a great champion for us. She has currently leading 14 different apprenticeship programs for JP Chase, so it's really great to have a leader like that in the overall apprenticeship community. Coral, if I can hand it over to you.
Sure, and I will have, this is my long-term goal, is to kind of work myself out of a job where apprenticeships are the norm and there is no more special role, but I am honored to do what I do. So thank you for the introduction. As Reiner said, I'm Coral Skovner and I work at JP Chase. We started working with Apprenti in 2018 to think about how we could bring additional military veterans into technology. So we have a lot of great programming to hire veterans who have already developed their skill set, but really wanted to create an opportunity for those who are interested in getting into technology, but didn't really have the chance yet. So our first cohort of software engineer apprentices was in 2019 in Columbus, Ohio. And I see some of my Ohio friends popping up in the chat, which is really exciting. Fast forward a couple of years, we have hired 31 apprentices across 5 different cohorts and expanded from U.S. military veteran software engineers to also include this year for the first time cybersecurity operations apprentices, and are now working with Apprenti in Columbus and Delaware. Our relationship with Apprenti and being able to have apprentices has really shifted the way our organization thinks about talent. In many recruiting models, companies are consumers of talent. People are building up their skill set on their own with education and work experience and then getting hired. But with the apprenticeship model, we are able to become co-producers of talent. And this is critical in the fast-paced and ever-changing world that we are all in now. Focusing on aptitude and ability to learn a skill set instead of current skill set, we work with Apprenti to select fantastic individuals to come into our apprenticeship. And those apprentices are able to grow their skill sets while they're on the job, and it lets us actively contribute to the learning experience. The apprenticeship model is also allowing us to create opportunity. opportunity for those who didn't have a chance to build that skill set elsewhere to do it here at JP Morgan Chase. I am so honored to be here today and have had the opportunity to work with the Apprenti team to make this program happen at JPMC since the beginning. Without their tireless efforts to find amazing candidates, secure funding, find training partners, register the programs, and everything else that goes on behind the scenes to make an apprenticeship happen, none of this would be possible. So I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone on the Apprenti team for all that you do to make this happen. And then a very big congratulations to all of the apprentices who are graduating today, and a special shout out to Matthew and Tiara from JPMC who are in today's graduating class. None of the employers or Apprenti would be able to have programs without individuals like all of you graduating today. People who are willing to come into jobs and learn and grow as they go. That is not something that everyone would choose to do or feel comfortable doing. So I commend you all for making that decision and then putting in the work and time and effort to successfully complete your apprenticeships. So you should all be really proud of this wonderful accomplishment. And also on top of this being a huge accomplishment, you all have completed this program while the world was navigating some really unprecedented times. So you should know that you are amazing and that you are going to continue to do amazing things. And I'm going to turn it back to Reiner.
Thank you, Coral. Great words, and can only echo the fact that the apprentices who have taken on this program and been working on this for about a year and a half, working very hard, have really accomplished a lot. Thank you for celebrating that. Next, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Carlson, who is our founder and fearless leader. Jennifer is the person who kind of conceived the whole idea of tech apprenticeships in the United States, recognizing the gap that we all have in terms of finding technical talent and finding enough technical talent, and realizing that there's a ton of incredibly talented, incredibly smart people out there who, for whatever reason, did not access the more traditional pathways into these jobs, and through Apprenti has provided this new and a very effective pathway. Not only did she have the vision to it, she also created the organization to actually make it happen, and is now the leader of the biggest organization within the United States around developing technology apprenticeships. So with no further ado, let me hand the mic to Jennifer.
Well, thank you, Reiner, and I'm not sure I can fill my own shoes after that introduction. So thank you. This is obviously an amazing day, and we really are excited every time we get together on behalf of the industry to graduate apprentices. And none of this could happen if we didn't have the support of community partners, funding partners, and the volunteerism, not just the staff that we have from individuals like Reiner, who sit on a committee for ensuring that the standards are upheld and that we're able to continue to perform at the high level that's expected by the industry. In concert with Reiner and a number of other folks on the call today, really, Coral, I'm here to say thank you to you and to provide you with not only the thanks of Apprenti, but the thanks of all of the apprentices that JP Morgan Chase have been given an opportunity to come into from non-traditional backgrounds. As an industry partner, there's no way we could exist without your support. And when we talk about JP Morgan Chase's support, that has been both through you and all of the functional work that you've done at the HR level and championing apprenticeship across multiple channels within the organization for a lot of different roles. And your desire, drive, passion for making sure that this is an inroad that needed to exist. And I think you are a force of nature within the organization to make sure that this is creating a new way of looking at it. And I think you gave us credit for helping you look at things differently, but you are the primary piece of that equation. We can call it out. You actually are doing the implementation work. And so as an industry partner, that industry partner is not only your partnership with us, but the thought leadership that you personally have exhibited within your organization and that's being shared outside the organization, and showing that this is what it looks like to advance forward. This is what it needs to look like in the United States as we think about how do we create alternative pathways to the university track. Not better than and not in place of, but equal to. And so thank you on behalf of the organization for all the work that you've done. Thank you for your continued support of Apprenti. Thank you on behalf of the apprentices that are graduating today and in the future on behalf of JP Morgan. And then from a philanthropy's perspective, your continued support of the organization, enabling this work to be done for everybody here, not only the apprentices that are going through JP Morgan. We really do thank you for your partnership. And I can't think of a better person and a more deserving one for our first partnership award.
Thank you so much. I have my beautiful award that I would love to show everyone. It came in the mail, and I promise I did not actually open it until today. But thank you for all of the kind words, Jennifer. I truly believe that apprenticeships have the real kind of way of changing like the American education system and pathway to good jobs, and feel so passionate about my work. So I feel so fortunate to be connected to you and the Apprenti team. And I need to give a special shout out to Kevin and Evelyn in Ohio, who have been with me through this entire journey. But I'm so happy to be doing this work and be part of today's celebration, because every one of these that I attend is just so inspiring, and it's great to see people making a change. And like we both have said many times, like soon this is going to be the norm, and these are going to be all the time with tons of apprentices, but super excited to be part of the journey and making that happen across the United States.
Thank you, Carl. That's great. And let me also reemphasize the importance of leaders like you in organizations. It's, I talked to a lot of companies, obviously, as part of my role in supporting Apprenti, and getting hiring managers to understand that apprentices are going to be just as good, if not better, than people coming from the more traditional pathways is a tough job. So I appreciate you doing that so successfully within JPMC. So thank you again. So as the next thing, obviously, we've got our companies that are part of the equation, but in the end, it's all about the apprentices and all that they've accomplished, and getting the apprentices into these great careers. And we're going to hear from a few of those as well today. And we're going to start out with Lily Orm, who's going to give us a little bit of an overview of her experience as she has come to this program and is graduating today. Lily?
Hi, everyone. My name is Lily, and I graduated from Apprenti in November 2020, and I'm currently a software engineer at VMware in California. So a little bit about my background. Before Apprenti, I was working as a tax preparer and also a caregiver. And my background is mostly in business, and I had chosen this path because it was kind of like a safe career option. And then while I was taking classes and working, I just kind of felt lost, and like work was something I needed to do to be able to do the things I actually like doing. And then so this was until I started taking courses for fun at my local college, and I stumbled upon an intro to programming course. And then as soon as I started coding in that course, I just like absolutely loved it, and I wanted to do more. And I never actually knew that this career path was like it existed, and as I was never like exposed to it when I was growing up. So I always found like an interest in computers and technology, but I never once thought that I could do it as a career. So after that first class, I took some more intro to programming courses, and then I started looking into entry-level jobs in the field. And I found that the barrier to entry was really high on these jobs, and I got kind of a bit discouraged. And then that's when I found Apprenti. So when I heard that I gotten into Apprenti, I was really grateful for the opportunity, and I just really felt fortunate to have access to this career path that I found my passion in. And then because of that, Apprenti means a lot to me. And then now that I'm working as a software developer, I have creative freedom. I can choose how to do my work. I'm on an amazing team that values my input, and I can now see like a brighter future financially, intellectually, and I get to feel passionate about the work I do. And then I also feel like my work now has meaning, and I never really had that with my previous jobs. And also I met my husband at the boot camp we were sent to, so that's a plus. And we just got married a few weeks ago, actually. And then Apprenti and being in this career has really inspired me to get more involved in my community. And I plan to pay it forward by continuing to tell others about the program, which I have been doing, and getting involved with groups that help introduce coding to the younger generations, because that's what was lacking in my youth. So Lastly, I wanted to congratulate all the graduates. You finished an entire tech apprenticeship, which is really tough in itself, and you did it during a pandemic, which is amazing. So right now you may feel like really scared, nervous, like you're still an apprentice, but I assure you that goes away. And then the next step that you're taking with the permanent position, you've already been doing it for an entire year. So now you get to do it more of it, and you get to do it for longer than a year for your entire career. So I just wanted to say good luck to everyone on your journey in this awesome career. Enjoy it, have fun with it. And my number one advice is to remember to ask lots of questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily. What a great story. It's awesome, particularly to see your passion and success in this line of work, and also the fact that you're giving back, which is great. We probably can't promise a spouse to everyone as we go through the program, but I think we can promise great careers, and so it's great that you achieved that. Now, going back to the employer side, I'd like to introduce Jim Chilton, who is actually I've known for over 15 years at this point. Jim is a very well-known CIO in the Boston area, has been CIO for a number of our leading tech companies, as well as an advisor to many of the startups around the Boston scene. Jim has been a real partner for us at Apprenti, and a leader in the Boston area around Apprenti. So I'd like to introduce Jim here, and who's also going to be getting an award from us. So I think, Jennifer, you're going to give the award, and then we'll hear from Jim afterwards.
We can do that. Jim, I think we've now met several times when I've been in Boston, and we've sat around the table, and during COVID, we've done this via telephone calls. I can only say or reinforce what Reiner has shared about your passion about what we do and your continued support of the organization. I think that you've incorporated or found a way to forcibly incorporate Apprenti into almost every conversation you have with your peers and in the community. And we couldn't be more grateful for your participation and support of what we do, as well as really your insights to how we've built the program in Massachusetts as a leading market for us, and how we've taken some of the key learnings that we've taken out of the market and applied them across the country as best practices. So we really appreciate your support and Cengage's support as a hiring partner. And for that reason, again, I can only say thank you, not only for your work with us, but that give back and that thought leadership that you and Cengage tend to, you live and imbibe every day as an industry partner. Industry not just being tech, but in how we create new talent and how we look at talent development and not just talent acquisition. So for that reason, of course, we have a partner award for you. I believe you also have one on hand.
Yep.
Thank you, Jim. I'll take your comments.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Thank you, Jennifer. And like I said, I'm honored and humbled to be part of this program, and thank you very much. I really appreciate the recognition. I think it's, I've been a really small part of this program here in Massachusetts. Reiner, got me into this, and I am so grateful because it is, we've always talked about how this is life-changing for the people that we're helping, and it's also life-changing for those of us that are fortunate enough to be involved, and you really feel like you're making a difference. And so, like I said, I'm honored and humbled to be here today. I do have a few words for the graduates I'd like to share, and I think just to start on this idea of what the last year and a half was in this around the world, and what it meant, and what you were asked to do, all of you that just started working, and those of you that were going through the program. So it really is a testament to your persistence as a student and your resilience to actually get to a place you want to be. I do have to do a shout out to Valerie and Tom, who are, some of the apprentices that are graduating today from that are part of Cengage family now. But I do think, and I suspect it's true, that all of you today are represented by the 12 apprentices we've already brought into Cengage. And if you do, and I think so, it's really quite amazing what you're doing and the way you're going about it. So there's 4 or 5 points I really want to try to stick with you if I can at this graduation. And And the first one is the one that I thought the most about, and I think it's what separates you from everybody else. Your authentic appreciation for the opportunity separates you from all others, all other people that are beside you, to the left of you, to the right of you. You are uniquely like that. And it is something that makes you very special. And as an employer, it is something that makes us incredibly grateful to have people around us who are willing to learn and that are excited and grateful for the opportunities that have been provided to them. Don't ever lose that. Not now, not in the future. It will be something that differentiates you. Your tenacity and resilience to get through things like COVID, but also getting you through the programs in the way that you've done this. I too took a non-traditional approach towards my career. And as someone who did that, I know what your fight is like. It is something that is very real, and I'm something that I am confident that will pay dividends to each and every one of you. The other thing I would say is that the skills you've gained and that you will continue to gain is an asset that is unique and in incredible demand throughout the world. That will never go away. That's something that will always be in demand. Remember that. Don't ever forget that that's something that's with you now forever. The other thing that's really, really important, and I've seen this with the folks that have joined us at Cengage, is that the bond you've created with the cohorts and the people inside of your cohort is super valuable. They also have traveled a similar path to you. Don't lose touch with them. Stay connected. I suspect you will be able to help each other more in the future than you may imagine. And then finally, and most importantly, don't confuse your path with your potential. I think people get all tied up in what got them to where they are, or they went left and should have gone right, and put all of that behind you. Your potential is what matters now, and your path is somewhat irrelevant, but it only helps you be stronger in getting to the place that you want to do and the places that you want to be. So I'm super encouraged by Apprenti, about the program and about this class of apprentices, because I do think that collectively over time, you are all going to do amazing things. And the idea that we get to be part of that, it's gratifying more than you can imagine to us. So thank you for that. I'm thrilled to be part of the program. And Reiner, a special thanks to you and Jennifer as well. I'm thrilled that you ever asked me to be part of this. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. There's some powerful words and some fantastic advice, and that I can only agree with wholeheartedly. So that's really good, and it makes it a good graduation speech too, because that's always a good place to collect advice. I want to turn back to the apprentices now with queuing off of Jim's powerful words there, and maybe make just a quick comment about the apprentice class. We've got 69 people graduating today, which is great. Of those, 70 are from population segments that are underrepresented in terms of African Americans, Native, Latinx. So these are folks who, population segments that have traditionally not gotten the easy path into these jobs, and have taken this path, which, as Jim points out, is a fantastic path and puts you in a great position to have a fantastic career. And we also have, I think, is it 13 or 14% women in the group as well, which surprisingly is higher than the norm in tech. So we do still have a way to go on that front. So again, thank you, Jim, for all that you've done. It's been a privilege having you with us so far, and look forward to continuing the journey with you. Next, we want to hear from another apprentice, RJ Smith. Now, RJ is on his way from the west to the east coast.
Wi-Fi. So I joined the Apprenti program back in April of 2020, and I recently accepted a full-time position as a SDE1 at Amazon back in May of this year, so a little bit over a month. So I joined the Apprenti program through a rather strange situation. My friends and family thought I was crazy. I was working as a GS employee at a federal agency doing cybersecurity, and I left all that behind to go learn how to be a software engineer at Apprenti. Apprenti afforded me the opportunity for the first time in my life to actually do what I wanted to do at work instead of just kind of doing whatever paid the bills. Before Apprenti, I joined the Marine Corps. That was another situation of just it kind of paid the bills. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was 18. When I got out of the Marine Corps, the next natural transition was government work, just because it was easier to get into. I was familiar with it, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. And I just kept eventually changing jobs over and over again until the Apprenti program came around. I learned about it, and then I ended up doing AWS as an apprentice, and I've loved it so far. I came into the Amazon program, so my experiences might be a little bit different. But if you're considering the Apprenti program or are already in the Apprenti program, the key piece of advice I can give to you is that your success is directly related to how much effort and energy you put into the program. If you go into it with the same mindset from the military, where if you give 110% and you really learn as much as you physically can, you'll get that same 110% back from Apprenti and the program. Another piece of advice is don't be afraid to break things. A lot of people, apprentices and not, are really afraid to break things in production. Don't be. When you break things, you learn, and next time when that situation comes up, you'll know how to fix it. If you have an on-call rotation, which might not be the case at all programs, I really suggest trying to get shadow on-call or trying to see how it works very early on. It shows your management that you're not afraid of challenges and you're not afraid of learning new things under pressure. If you never stop learning, give 110% to everything, and are extremely direct with your management about your goals and where you want to be in the next year, 2 years, I think you'll do really good in the Apprentice program. It's changed my life completely, and I think it can change yours too if you know how to manage it correctly. This is about all the time I have, so I'm going to head off, and I hope everyone has a great 4th of July.
It's great to hear from RJ. And I actually want to pick up on one piece of advice that he said is about making a plan and being clear to your management where you want to go. I think that's super important. It's important to pick up, what Jim said. You deserve to be where you are. Take advantage of that and make clear that you deserve to be there and that you deserve to advance from there. And I think, as someone who used to run technical teams, having folks who are clear where they want to go and articulate that in but a humble but a direct way are great to have, because those are people you can plan careers with. So I think that's really great advice of RJ. So please take that to heart. Next, we are going to have the Lieutenant Governor of Ohio, John Husted, with us.
Hello, I'm Kevin Gadd, Apprenti State Director for Ohio. It's my pleasure today to introduce our next speaker, Mr. John Husted. Mr. Husted is Ohio's Lieutenant Governor and a strong ally for growing the tech talent pool through a variety of very successful programs here in Ohio. John, we're very happy to present you with our Governmental Partner Champion Award for all your support. We thank you.
Well, thank you very much. There's the award right there. It means a lot to me because this is something that I really believe is important. I remember the first time I heard of Apprenti, and I thought, wow, this is the right strategy. This is the way to help employers find the talent that they need, help make sure it's trained for the kinds of jobs that are available. And it's a great tool for graduates because they know, for the students, because they have the real work experience. They know that they're up to earning the credentials that they need to be successful, and they know that there's a career at the end of the road. And that partnership has just been a great model. And so I appreciate the honor from Apprenti. Let me just say, though, to the graduates, congratulations. I am a super big fan of what you've done because I know how much it means. It's such a great process where you get skills, you get an education. The employer gets an employee who really understands what the job is all about. And I feel that this, I believe it truly, that what you're doing is the future of education and work in America. That it is going to help break down the old model. It's going to create a more new, efficient model that's great for the student, the employee, and the employer. And so thanks for being trailblazers. You really are. You're some of the first to tackle this new way of creating tech talent and bringing you into transitioning you in the workforce. And I think it's just fantastic. This is a model in what you're doing that others are going to want to replicate into the future. And I can tell you as Lieutenant Governor of Ohio that we're trying to replicate these kinds of models everywhere we can. And I want to just say congratulations. I wish you all the best. For those of you who are Ohioans, congratulations. For those of you who aren't Ohioans, maybe we can recruit you to Ohio to come work here, because we know that if you're Apprenti tested and talented, that you're ready to go and add value and lead a great life. So congratulations. Thanks for the award. And to all of you who are graduating, just know that I'm real proud of you, and I know that you're going to have a bright future.
I'm going to chime in for just a moment, Reiner, and say that even though we weren't able to get the Lieutenant Governor on the call today due to other commitments, I think it's really important to call out the fact that government support is needed, and the state of Ohio in particular has not only been supportive of this program, but a state that is largely known for manufacturing and very supportive of apprenticeships in other industry sectors, was an early adopter and supporter of expanding apprenticeship in the non-traditional tech sector. And the Lieutenant Governor's support has been instrumental in making sure that we not only had access to state support systems on behalf of the apprentices, but they've been instrumental in making sure that we are able to operate and get done what needs to be done in order to make this viable in the state of Ohio. So we'll thank the Lieutenant Governor again offline, and appreciate his being able to send over the video.
Thank you, Jennifer. And I think next we're going to go actually honor the graduates. So we're going to see all their names, and again, I think we said a lot of inspiring words for everything you've done. So with no further ado, let's give us a chance to recognize each of you individually.